their states, adding that only 4 states, Kaduna, Kebbi, Lagos, and Adamawa, had begun payment of the new wage structure. And organized labor has warned that it will not guarantee industrial harmony in the states that refuse to complete negotiations on the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira with it. NLC's warning is contained in a communique issued by the body. The communique, which was signed by President of the NLC Ayuba Waba, the Union Secretary General Emmanuel Ogbuaja, and the National Chairman Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council, said, from the report reaching the National Leadership of Labour, only 4 states, Kaduna, Kebbi, Lagos, and Adamawa, had begun payment of the new salary structure. The federal government reached an agreement with labour unions on consequential increase in workers' salaries as a result of a new minimum wage on October 18, 2019, after protracted negotiations with government at the state level, expected to open negotiations with labour representatives in their states. And traditional rulers, chiefs and elders in Ukuragu clan in a Chia local government area of Rivers State have advised Chief Marcos Amadi to stay clear of activities of Umo Chugu, Achara, Dike Nakwaka, and Umokechi villages. The Ukuragu Council of Chiefs and Elders warned Chief Marcos to limit his activities to only his self-acclaimed Ukbala Ukuragu 2 autonomous community and stop linking other villages because of the resources found in the areas. Chairman of Ukuragu Council of Elders, Elda Onyero Amadi, who was reacting to a publication by Marcos in 2 different local newspapers, said it was not true that is the innocent Wonsu, who is the paramount ruler of Umwekwene, is not from Ukuragu.
People where you see here now, the land they wanted to take make not of us. Shell, the locations, everything, where they give money for Nigeria, where they for Umokechi and Umekuna, make Marcos come out and give it the honor. The thing not be improper. Another advice, court, now him be the head of everything. Make him take eye where old man they take look something where they inside bag. Look, this case, carry the land, give the honor. The honor don't come back. And he has seen come back, he don't come back. He don't come.
In an interview with our correspondent, the Secretary Supreme Council of Ukuragu Chiefs and Elders, Gift Oshilem, slammed Chief Marcos for calling Ukuragu Chiefs and Elders land grabbers.
I am so strong to refute his press statement on some local papers saying as innocent Nwosu as not indigenous of Ukuragu, and again to also saying that he is a land grabber, he and his brother. To me, I think it is laughable. Somebody who has declared himself autonomy cannot also come today to claim ownership of Ukuragu one. But as far as I'm concerned, for the fact that he's an Opalo, is from Opalo autonomous community, he cannot also come to tell an Umokechi man or Umekune man or Mosro man not to be part of Ukuragu, because that is outside his autonomous community. I call on the Majesty to invite Marcos Amadi and also invite this particular person to really investigate the royal stool of Marcos Amadi in Ukuragu too.
Investigations by our own correspondent revealed that Ukbala village, which is one of the 5 villages in Ukuragu clan in the Chieleko government area of Rivers State, has been in a running battle with 4 villages, including Umochugu, Achara, Dikiak, and Nakpaka, Umokechi villages. And on the foreign scene, the U.S. Special Envoy for North Korea will arrive in South Korea this Sunday ahead of a year-end deadline set by Pyongyang for Washington to soften its approach to stall denuclearization talks. South Korea's foreign ministry said Stephen Bae-gun will be in Seoul for a 3-day stay and hold consultations with his counterpart Lee Do-hun and other officials. The ministry in a statement said the 2 sides will exchange extensive views on the recent situation on the Korean peninsula and discuss ways to bring substantial progress on achieving a complete denuclearization and enduring peace. Tension has been rising in recent weeks as Pyongyang has conducted a series of weapons tests and waged a war of words with U.S. President Donald Trump, stoking fears that the 2 countries could return to a collision course that they had been on before launching diplomacy last year. And that's it on the news update. Thank you for your time and good afternoon.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Seasons Bonanza. We wish to share in the good cheer of the season by offering amazing discounts on advert campaign on our Signal, your premium talk, news and sports station. From the 5th of December to the 31st.
For every 3 slots you pay for, you get 2 free.
So hurry now and enjoy this best rates ever.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique dial. sunshine or rain, through every terrain.
Everywhere I turn, football, football.
So why not join in the action, intrigues, excitement, and fun?
Just doesn't get better than this.
Many stars have continued to shine with every ace, every race, every break, and every other sports there is.
Incredible stuff.
On today's Sports Live, reaching you from your premium news, talk, and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
That sounds like so much fun.
Weekdays after the news at 3. It's interactive, it's engaging, and don't forget, your voice is priority.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
All right. A very good afternoon and welcome to, of course, another great edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from your premium news talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. My name is Chidubem Joseph Njoku, the Chief Justice of Sports. And of course, there's a lot to talk about this afternoon. First off, the Today FM Under 20 tournament. It continues today. Yes, action was paused yesterday because we had walkovers. Two teams failed to show up, so we had two teams walk over. But then action packed today, and of course, we'll also see action tomorrow in that particular competition. But there's action everywhere as well. Kickboxing, the one you like to call UFC these days. Kamaru Usman, a man with Nigerian roots, the African giant, he'll be up against Colvin this weekend. Covington, that is. And of course, in the MPFL, plenty news everywhere you turn to. Is it the LMC ratifying the decision to finally allow Kwara United take over Delta Force, or the ratification of Dakada FC now, no longer Akwa Starlet? And of course, matters on the pitch yesterday, Eyimba getting the business done against Rivers United. And of course, I'll give you a little bit about foreign stories as well. The Europa League played yesterday, and of course matches to expect both in Nigeria Professional Football League and of course the Europa Leagues out there. And I'm not in the building alone. I've got two fine gentlemen, well dressed this afternoon, I tell you. Start from my left here, the top striker, Emmanuel Chibuzo. Welcome to the show.
Chidubem, good afternoon. The weekend is here and rest is not near for us in the studio, but of course I'm here to talk sports this weekend.
Rest is never near for us. Wisdom of Vina. Welcome to the show as well.
Good afternoon, Chidubem.
All right, like we told you, the show is of course interactive, and you can be a part of it by just hitting us up on some of interactive platforms. Here the WhatsApp platform is down, so you can tweet at us at TodayFM951, and while doing that you can mention at Chidubem NJ or at Emmanuel90001, that's Emmanuel93001, or at Wisdom_OB. That is letter O and letter B, not the name OB. Well, the show makes a return after this short timeout.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
All right, let's get the show on the way from the world of UFC. Yes, ahead of the fight against former interim champion Colby Covington tomorrow, UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, he says although people think the bout is evenly matched, he will show the world that there's something different about him.
On paper, people think it's evenly matched. It's crazy. We're both 15-1. Those lone defeats are to a guy that he beat, the guy that I beat. So on paper, it seems evenly matched. But when these guys step in there with me, they're stepping in that cage with an African lion, and they quickly realize very soon that we're very, very different.
Of course, the man says he is going to give us something very, very different. The African giant, he calls himself very feisty when it comes to that UFC. Very, very deadly game, I must say. You can only imagine it, the way they do it over there. But meanwhile, the self-acclaimed people's champion, talking about Covington now, he has accused Usman of using steroids. I didn't say that. You hear it from the man himself.
In emails and whatnot, and I was hoping they were going to do it. I was willing to pay 25 grand to Usman if he could piss clean in a cup in New York, but he couldn't do it. He just completely avoided the subject. I brought it up twice to him, and he just acted like he couldn't even deny it. So I think it showed his reaction at the press conference. He's obviously on steroids.
Well, you heard that. Saturday's fight will be headlining UFC 245 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The fight is scheduled for 12:30 a.m. Nigerian time. Top striker, let me start with you, Kamaru Usman. We know this man, at least in the past 3-4 years. Nigerian roots. He's always talked about the fact that he's African and he's Nigerian, proudly Nigerian for that matter. Goes around with the green everywhere he goes, every time he fights as well. What exactly do you expect from this fight between himself and Covington?
I think a lot. These are two fighters who have similar records: 15-1, 15-1.
Yeah.
They've fought 16 times. They've won 15 each, and they've lost 1. And for Kamaru Usman, out of the 15 bouts he has won, he's won 6 by way of knockouts. While for Covington, he has won 2 by way of knockouts. And even the one they lost is by way of submission. They submitted. So they have a lot going for them right there. Talking about Kamaru Usman, he's the welterweight champion in this category at the moment, so he's the best. Why, as at March of this year, Covington was ranked second in the welterweight division, which means he's second only to Kamaru Usman. In the entire division, in the entire UFC, Kamaru Usman is ranked number 10th when it comes to pound for pound. Yeah. That means she has a lot to offer. But of course, these are two fighters who have a similar record coming into this bout. You expect, yes, you want to say Covington is way older than him, but of course, the records speak for themselves. These guys have a whole lot. So he was trying to use something to distract Kamaru Usman about the
politics.
No, not even the politics, the issue of the steroids and the rest of them. But of course, these are two fighters who have a similar record.
And he's always been saying that. I wonder where he's getting the
I think he can say what he wants to say. It all depends on what the UFC, what their rules are, their laws are. If there is a room for you to be on steroids and fight, it's nobody's business. Because when a fighter comes out to make his allegations, it's not left for the authorities to go carry out the test themselves. Yeah. If they don't come out to carry out the test, it means that perhaps there's room for you to take whatever you want to take, looking at how physical
but
how brutal.
According to him, he said a test had been carried out, and they actually ascertained him to be free of any wrong drug or something. But the man is saying that you really can't even trust the governing bodies because they wouldn't want to lose their champion.
I think these people, they don't even go with this sentiment because looking at the fact that the person in question is a black man, so they want to carry out this test. And let's not forget, the Dana White is the president of the UFC, and another thing that comes to mind, some of these combat sports, they do their tests out of competition tests. They take you off guard, they catch you off guard, and they test you, examine you. If there's any steroid found in your system, you go in for it. And between the period when this thing has been in your body, every title you want, then you're being stripped of it. So I think maybe Covington is a champion himself, a former interim champion. He has held the belt at some point. So right now he's in the hands of Kamaru Usman. Like I said, as at March of this year, he was second in the division, beyond only one man, Kamaru Usman. Usman in the entire division, they have the UFC 221, 245 and the rest. I think they are in the 245 category. The entire UFC division is ranked number 10 when it comes to pound for pound. So which means this man is highly ranked in the division, in the entire, the whole of the UFC. I respect a lot. 15-1, 15-1, they both. Kamaru Usman has more knockouts, 6 out of the 15 bouts he's won, while Covington has 2. So coming into this bout, a lot can happen. I know this is a place where you kill yourself by yourself. You are being caged. Exactly. The octagon, they call it. You are locked in. There's no hand gloves like you see in boxing.
Sport, everything I wonder why they call it a sport in the first place.
That's what I don't understand. I was here to even digest the fact that boxing, people are being pounded with the gloves. Now you're bringing out a sport where there's no gloves at all. So
I think UFC is not for people under 18.
So I think at this point you have to expect the very best. It can go anywhere. These are two fighters who have a similar record. They both are champions in their own right. This guy was former interim champion, and right now it's Kamaru Usman. He's ranked second in the division, only to this man, Kamaru Usman. So these are two fighters going head to head. So expect anything. You want to say age is still on the side of Kamaru Usman. Maybe the athleticism, he has it on his feet, how to move swiftly, but come on. this man also has experience. He's about he's 31 at the moment. Talking about Covington. So he has a whole lot of experience. He must have experienced a whole lot of things. But with the records on the line, everything going at par for them, I think at this point it just might swing to anywhere.
All right, Wisdom, you've heard a lot of the analysis now, but can we put your money where your mouth is? Kamaru Usman taking on Covington. Where do you see the pendulum swinging tomorrow?
I think Usman would beat Covington. It's not going to be easy, but
because he's Nigerian, the African giant.
Maybe you can say that, but if you look at the man, it's more than just fighting history and art history. I look at Colby Covington from way back, former UFC champion now, John Jones, was his roommate in high school. That's when they started fighting. This guy was already a junior champion when did Usman start, but he has found a way to push himself to this level where he is. And I know this is not the question, but sometimes I try to advise these administrators, if you work on the Nigerian populace, we have talent in this system. This man pushed himself.
They fight on the street.
I'm telling you, from
at the boss party.
from when he started, and he's able to have gotten to this level.
The fight now.
So I think Usman will get it over him. As Top Striker just said, age difference is not a problem. 32-31, that's enough. If you want to talk about the fact that this one is younger, I think they're fairly around the same age group. I'm telling you, so that won't be a problem. But if it comes to the both fighters, I've not seen much of Colby Covington, just one clip, and that was just a little highlight. I've not seen him fight, but I think with what I've seen Kamaru Usman do, 2 fights I've seen him fight, I think he should be able to get this one against Colby Covington.
Well, it's going to be really, really tough. Tough track. I've not heard from you before I jump. Kamaru Usman.
I think I'm short of words at the moment because these two guys have a similar record, and
you have to pick one.
No, the man in question also has a former champion as well, interim champion. So these are 2 champions coming to do battle. There's a lot at stake for them. There's just one error, one mistake, and someone caught your eyelids. That in itself can affect you all through the bout. Sure. So I think it all depends on how the 2 fighters come out on the day. And there's no hand gloves there. There's no helmet to protect your head. You go in the way there's an amount of bleeding you go through that will even make you start getting weakened in the course of the bout. So I think I'm just leaving my fingers crossed at this point.
Definitely not picking anyone.
No, I'm not picking anyone. I'm not picking anyone.
All right, let's move over to football. Action is currently ongoing as we speak at the Today FM Under-20 Soccer Fiesta holding at the Treasure FM pitch inside NTA premises Mboba. Of course, Amsterdam, they've just taken on Eagles FC. That game started by 1 p.m. and of course later on by 4 p.m. today, Selected Stars will do battle with SKFC. This one looks like the blockbuster match of the tournament already. Selected Stars and of course SKE. 2 of the finest sides you can find anywhere in Port Harcourt. I tell you, I'm yet to get the full confirmation of that game between Amsterdam and Eagle FC. In the first half, it was a drubbing actually, 4-0 in favor of Amsterdam. But I'll soon get the confirmation of that. I'll call we'll get out to one of our men out there, maybe Reliance or Dockers, to feed us in on what is happening right there at the Today FM Under-20 Soccer Tournament. But Wisdom, quickly. First half already, I was following that one up. We had a player getting a hat-trick already. Something good, right?
Well, I talked about the brace scored by David Solomon, and I said someone could end up even doing better than he did. Well, the race for the top scorer is on. I heard there's a certain price for that one. So the race is on, So if someone has gotten a hat-trick, the next game will be important. Let's not forget, it's a knockout thing. There's no group stage set of games. Everything boils down to what you do with these 5 set of games. You're fair. That's if you can get to the final. So good enough. If you can start scoring the goals now, brother, start scoring. David Solomon made it 2. Someone else has come to make it 3. Hopefully before the next round of matches, we'll even see someone coming to make it 4, if possible. I mean, if that's possible in football, we've seen Brett Haaland score 4 goals. We even saw him score, is about 7 or 8 goals in the under-20s.
9
so it's around the same age too. Somebody can do the same. But I tell you, it's exciting. It's good to see these young talents get on the field to do their stuff. And it's also important that we are taking some of them out of the street. I think that's the key part of it for me. I look at some of those guys. When I saw them come to some media forums and all that, good enough or not too good enough. I've not been there. I was planning to go there today. I saw some of them, and I think there are boys who, on a negative day, you want to say, will be doing something else. But I tell you, they're here. They're putting in their best. It's going to be on for 7 or 8 days now, and I think it's enough for them to not just bask in the euphoria of winning if they end up winning something for themselves, but turning their lives and destinies around. You never can tell. We've established that here ever since even before it began. We could actually have the next superstar when it comes to Nigerian football emerge from this competition. As much as I would say it might not attract Jose Mourinho, it might not attract Pep Guardiola, but I tell you, it will attract Stanley Guma. Yeah. It might probably attract Usman Abdallah. The likes of Abdul Mekaba might also make it down, depending on how many of them will choose to come in for the finals. But I tell you, scouts are around that venue. I think it was Top Striker that said that yesterday when we were here. Instead of these NNL sites looking for players, this is an opportunity. You don't need to pay too much money. Yeah. You just need to negotiate properly, talk well, and these boys will end up playing for you. Who says the top scorer tomorrow cannot be in Enyimba? And I tell you, this might just be the single opportunity, single ticket that will turn at least 5 or 6 players their lives around.
All right, with that, let's move over to the camp of the Nigerian Professional Football League. A lot to talk about in that sense, I tell you. Yes, let's start from Kwara United, because on Wednesday, December 11th, they received the provisional approval to acquire Delta Force and play their home games at the Ilorin Township Stadium, starting from March the 8th. That is this weekend's games of the NPFL. And of course, the League Management Company, the LMC, also approved the change of name of Aqua Starlets to Dakada International FC of Uyo, following their full compliance with requirements for change of name. And of course, in conditionally granting approval to Kwara United, the LMC stated that the club must provide the following documents. That is the letter of undertaking from the owners of Kwara United FC to pay the salaries of players and officials, as well as other operational expense of the club as at when due. In the meantime, Honorable Justice Denmi Ajayi of the Federal High Court in Benin City on Monday, December 9, 2019, affirmed the incorporation of the League Management Company Limited was validly registered under the laws of Nigeria, delivering judgment in suit number FHC/B/CS/93/14 filed by veteran journalist Ben Lawrence in 2014. Honorable Justice Ajayi struck out the suit against the LMC and the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, challenging the legality of the registration of the LMC, which had been incorporated in 2013 for the participating football clubs of the Nigerian Professional Football League and the Nigerian Football Federation. The court further declared that the plaintiff, Ben Lawrence, had no locus in the first instance to institute a suit against the incorporation of LMC under the company's law, and thus was a busybody and an interloper. Of course, Sashe Udiko, the chairman of LMC, while expressing satisfaction with the judgment, commended the court for upholding the truth and justice in the matter. And quickly, before I come to the analyst here, and on the 12th competition is to be added to the Nigerian Professional Football League and Spanish League collaboration for youth football development on the auspices of MPFL/La Liga under 15 Promises tournament. This informed the highlight of decisions reached at an exploratory meeting between the League Management Company and the La Liga Nigeria team, which met to design a roadmap for the next edition of the MPFL La Liga under 15 Promises Youth League. And of course, Top Striker, let's just go back to the Kwara United issue. Finally, the ratification has been made. I was sitting here and thinking, maybe the LMC should have considered all the outcries by a lot of Nigerians and, of course, journalists alike, that move wasn't too nice. Buying over a club in the middle of a season. Why exactly has the LMC decided to, jettison all these calls and go ahead with the idea?
And to shock you, I think it's still going to happen next season again. Because I don't know what their rule book says about that. We don't do these things. If you're going to do any of this takeover, let it be done in the summer before the league starts. Because they are giving room to this. It happened last season. Yeah. They are saying it's happening now again. What is the guarantee that by February, March, another team will not take over
by the champions?
So no, I think it's those teams that are struggling down. Or one person will just come table money to Enyimba and Abia State government and offer so much money and the change of name. So I think you've seen it 2 years in succession at the moment. So there's no guarantee that it will not happen next year when another team is having a rough patch. And maybe the Delta Force that will be going down can come back again next year to buy over another team that will be coming back to the NPFL. So I think since the rule book, according to the LMC, allows it, gives room for it, we're going to see it. Things are not done like this professionally. We say let us not compare the NPFL with other foreign leagues. You don't do things. If you're going to do it properly. Let it follow a procedure. Yeah. Let them know that 2 months or a month before the NPFL starts, any takeover you want to do must be complete. Let it be spelled out. So the process must have started. According to the process, it's supposed to even go through a normal process that's supposed to go about close to 3 months or 5 months or 8 months or thereabout. But right now, somebody will just wake up one morning. Okay, how much will it cost us to acquire Kwara United? Okay, let's call the chairman of the club. Call the person goes to tell the state government, and before you know it, they take it. So I think we'll see it. So in less than 1 week, you can acquire a club in the NPFL and swap the teams. If these things are not well spelled out, we're going to continue to see these things. And these are the things that put a small hole, a blight in the NPFL. No matter how good, whatever they must have been doing in recent past or recent times have been going on. These are the small things, the little foxes that spoils the vine, like the Bible says. So I think until they plug this hole, close up this lacuna, these things are going to continue to go on, and we'll keep saying these are the small things that make us not to call this league a professional league.
All right, the show will be back after this short time out. Let's go pay some bills.
The Licensed Petroleum Products Filling Station Owners Association Rivers State, LIPSOR, officially announces its end-of-the-year get-together. The party holds on Saturday, 14th December at Mars Central Galaxy Hotel, opposite Mini Okoro Police Station, Old Abba Road. Time, 2 p.m. prompt. Note, it is important for all members to attend, as the template for 2020 shall be unveiled and a number of industry players and stakeholders shall be present. You can't afford to miss this. Announcers, Sir Francis Chilam Dingba, Director of Public Affairs, LIPSOR, and Prince Sonny Nkwe, Chairman, LIPSOR.
Season's Bonanza. We wish to share in the good cheer of the season by offering amazing discounts on advert campaign on our signal, your premium talk, news and sports station. From the 5th of December to the 31st.
For every 3 slots you pay for, you get 2 free.
So hurry now and enjoy this best rates ever.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
All right, welcome back from that very short timeout, I promised. And of course, let's talk about Eyimba. Yesterday, there were 1-0 victors over our own Rivers United. I don't know if I should call them our own. Of course, they're in Rivers State, but some people have got other laws, really. It even looks like Eyimba has more fans in Rivers State these days. But Rivers United yesterday, quite unsuccessfully, went over to the Eyimba International Stadium and were beaten by 1-0. Victor Mboma with the only goal. That goal came in the 2 minutes in the first half via a free kick. And speaking of the coach of the side, that's Eyimba, Usman Abdallah, he had this to say.
The team has changed. We've changed almost about 40% of the team, and there are some few players, maybe about 3 players that are playing the league for the first time this season, and there are also that are not regulars in the team that got their own chance maybe to start the game for the first time. Seeing that we have a lot of injuries and the other players that are sitting came in and deliver and get the 3 points, I think kudos to the boys. I think we should give credit to the boys by stepping in and then delivering. I'm happy with their performance.
All right, happy with the performance. And Wisdom, very quickly, Eyimba yesterday, I mean, it was anonymous yesterday, I remember, when we were asked what exactly we should expect, or was it on Tuesday now? What should we expect from the game? Everybody said Rivers United was going to, Eyimba was going to defeat Rivers United. It happened that way.
Expectedly, but some people were thinking, believing, most of us, that it was going to be by a higher margin. I want to look at the fact that Rivers United, they look like an improved side, a team that is high on confidence. So maybe that's why it was as slim as 1-0. But kudos must go to Enyimba. They've got another 3 points from one of the outstanding matches they have. They have one more outstanding game also. That's another 3 points that they do have a chance to get. They're not doing badly on the table. I said it before that game. Domestically, when it comes to the MPFL, they've won all matches right there at the Enyimba Stadium, and it looks like if they continue this way, they might end up pushing themselves to the